Two major events happened in 1872. On January 20, 1872, about 200 Filipino military personnel of Fort San Felipe Arsenal in Cavite, Philippines, staged a mutiny which in a way led to the Philippine Revolution in 1896. And the other was the martyrdom of the three martyr prize in the person of Fathers Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora. However, not all of us knew that there were different accounts in reference to the said events. All Filipinos must know the different side of the story, since this event led to another tragic yet meaningful part of our history, the execution of Gomburza, which in effect a major factor in the weakening of nationalism among the Filipinos. Let's examine the Contemporaries writing state what is right and wrong regarding in 1872, Cavite Mutiny that promotes the awakening side of Filipino to the Spanish government region. Father Salvador Ponce Y. Torres. Ponce was an Augustinian friar who first came to the Philippines in 1884, left his order in 1899 in Manila, and for the next decade, spent much of his time writing against the friars and cooperating with founders of the Iglesia Filipina Independiente. Finally, being reconciled with the Catholic Church, he re-entered the Augustinians and spent the rest of his life in monastery in Germany. He is a Spanish priest, journalist, wherein his publications are against in Spanish colony. He executed year 1899. And he became free after a month and he returned to Germany. He is the author of Defensa del Clero Filipino y Documentos de Información Histórica, La Democracia mi último grito de alarma, El Clero Secular, la Constitución Pontificia Quasimare Cínico, Sacerdotes del Clero Secular Filipino, Escritores.
Defensa del Clero Filipino. The first of this reproduced flowchart account and for the rest contain a fact that could not be found in Montero Vidal, and indeed it is in general short on fact. The second book contains a series of biographies and bibliographies of outstanding Filipino secular prize, among them Burgos and Gomez.
Felipe Maria de Gubantes. Felipe Maria de Gubantes was a long-time Peninsular Spaniard resident of the Philippines, where he held various positions in the bureaucracy. He is also a former finance superintendent in the colonial government, wrote a book entitled Estudio para un proyecto sencillo de reglamento de agricultura preciso en Filipinas. He is the author of Compendio de la Historia de Filipinas, in which he detailed a concise collection of information of the Philippine history. Gubantes stated in his work that the term Malacanya meant place of the fisherman from the Tagalog word Mamalakaya. It was written in 1877 and was published in Manila by Imprenta del Colegio de Santo Tomas, a cargo de DJ Mimihe. Evidence. He narrated the revolt of Cavite, not making clear to whom he attributes the responsibility. He mentions that the military tribunals condemned also all those who were involved in the Cavite Mutiny of 1872.
Dr. Jose Rizal. Many Filipinos were outraged by the Spanish treatment of the Gomburza priests when they were executed, and Jose Rizal is one of them. Jose Rizal was still a small boy at this time, and the person who informed him of the execution was Paciano, his older brother, who was linked with Father Burgos, one of the priests who were executed. At this point, Rizal understood the Spaniards' wrongdoings against the Filipinos and realized that he needed to take a stand in order to make a difference in the country and put an end to the Spanish Empire's abusive and unjust acts. This then inspired him to write the novel El Filibusterismo, which he dedicated it to the three priests. El filibusterismo was a major factor in the Filipino people's revolt, as it encouraged many individuals to fight for their nation, including Andres Bonifacio, which then many scholars believe that the Cavite Mutiny of 1872 was the beginning of Filipino nationalism, which eventually led to the 1896 Philippine Revolution. Evidence. Dr. Rizal published his second novel El Filibusterismo, a sequel of Noli Me Tangere, on September 18, 1891 in Ghent, Belgium. Rizal wrote El Filibusterismo in dedication to the three martyred priests Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, expressing conviction that their treatment and deaths at the hands of the Spanish authorities was unjust.
Manuel Y. Artigas Corba. Manuel Artigas, a biographer, bibliographer, historian, and journalist. Artigas pursued his interest in journalism in 1891. His first book, Manuel de Empleados, was published in 1892. At the height of the revolution in early 1897, Artigas evacuated his family to Spain. There, he continued writing for some periodical, through which exposed the abuses of Spanish authorities in the Philippines. He became acquainted with a prominent Spaniard who sympathized with the Filipino in 1899. He founded the El Filipino. Evidence. His major work was Los Sucesos de 1872. This book, though somewhat unsystematic in organization, is the fullest account of the Cavite community. In this background, which has appeared up to present, Artigas has depended principally on the account of Regidor, which is reproduced in a part in his book account.
Apolinario Mabini. Apolinario Mabini Maranyan, born on 23rd of July 1864 at Tanawan and died at 13th of May 1903 on Manila, was a Filipino revolutionary leader, educator, lawyer, and statesman, who served first as a legal and constitutional advisor to the revolutionary government and then as the first Prime Minister of the Philippines upon the establishment of the First Philippine Republic. Mabini wrote the Philippine Revolution or La Revolucion Filipina in 1901 to 1903 as both an account and critic of the movement that established the First Philippine Republic, as well as of the first years of the Philippines as a self-governing nation. La Revolucion Filipina, which was published in 1931, published in printing Manila. The Spanish text used was that published in La Revolucion Filipina, 261 to 325, Bureau of Printing, Manila, 1931. Its editor, Teodoro M. Calao, then director of the National Library, is a word-for-word transcript of the original, written in pencil, which is in the National Library.
Evidence. Mabini devotes one chapter of his posthumously published work La Revolucion Filipina to our subject. Causa y efecto de la ejecución de los padres Burgos, Gomez y Zamora. Mabini's chapter is not a narrative but rather a discussion of the place of the martyr priests in the revolution. Gregorio F. Zaide. He was a Filipino historian, author, and politician. He was from Pagsanhan, Laguna. He wrote 67 books and more than 500 articles of theory. He was of Asia and the president of the Philippine Historical Association for 3 terms. He received a special prize in history in the 1940s Commonwealth Literary Contest. the Diploma of Distinction from valuable research on the life and works of Dr. Rizal, to name a few.
Sonia Saidi. On the other hand, Sonia Saidi is the daughter of Gregorio Saidi. She is an outstanding historian and a writer who possesses postgraduate degree from the London School of Economics. Periodically updating ID's published works, both of them have a big contribution about the documentary source of Philippines history on the Cavite Mutiny. The two accounts corroborated each other in Gregorio Saidi and Sonia Saidi. Documentary Sources of the Philippines History, Volume 7, published in 1990 under the Manila. Spanish Accounts of the Cavite Mutiny, the documents of the Spanish historian Jose Montero y Vidal, centered on how the event was an attempt in overthrowing the Spanish government in the Philippines. Izquierdo is an obviously based report highlighting that attempt to overthrow the Spanish government in the Philippines to install a new hari in the persons of Father Burgos and Zamora.